So now let's get on to the possible responses to the question, is there such a thing as too much democracy? There's two stages to answering any essay question. The first one is forget about the facts, ignore the word democracy, ignore what it's about, and just think, what question is this? Okay, so if I give you an example, what is ice cream? And why does ice cream exist? Or how does ice cream exist? They're totally different questions, and the answers require they will be of totally different forms. Or does ice cream exist is so different from why does ice cream exist. Does ice cream exist? What are the possible answers? Does it exist? Yes, no, a bit, sometimes, perhaps. Whereas why does ice cream exist? You can't answer yes or no. You have to answer ice cream exists because. Okay, so forget about the big words and just think, what kind of question is this? What is an answer? So is there such a thing as X? Well, what can the answers be? Yes, there is such a thing as X. Or no, there is not. There is not such a thing as X. Or this is a more complicated approach, but often it's very important if you want a really sophisticated essay, is yes, there is such a thing, but only when X, or only in X, or only if this happens, only until that happens. Likewise, no but. Okay. I wouldn't do the thing that some people do, which is just question the question for the whole essay. You do really need to come up with an answer. You can't just say, well, the question is not very clear because there is no such thing as too much. Sorry, no, that would be an answer, but you know what I mean. People often try and be really clever and really question the question, which is okay for about half the essay if you really want to, if you think it's important, but you won't do that well if you just do that for the whole essay. So what about some examples then? Let's look at the yes and the yes, but. So yes, too much democracy. There is such a thing as too much democracy because it leads to populist leaders taking power and therefore an increase in divisions in society. That's a possible answer. Or yes, there is such a thing as too much democracy, especially when we have referenda, which we're seeing a lot more of around the world because they increase division. For example, the Brexit referenda, that could be an example. But then remember, you need a counter argument. So the obvious counter argument is someone believing the opposite of you, which is no, there is not too much democracy, or no, there's not too much democracy, and referenda are actually very good things, and they settle divides, they don't increase divides. That'd be the counter argument. What else have we got? So yes, too much democracy leads to a majority being able to oppress a minority. We saw that with the Federalist Papers. That's what the authors of those papers would argue. Or here's a condition one. Yes, there is such a thing as too much democracy, but only in certain places. For example, there's too much, you don't have too much democracy in the United Kingdom, perhaps, but you do have too much democracy in countries which don't have constitutions or established courts to help protect certain people's rights. So, for instance, you might have too much democracy in a country, post-conflict countries like Iraq, for instance.